Broccoli soup, easy beyond belief. It hasn't got 15, 20 ingredients. It hasn't got brown chicken stock, shallots sweated down for 20 minutes. Hasn't got half a litre of white wine in there. It's just got broccoli and water. And that's the magic behind this soup. It's just so easy and delicious. Hold the broccoli in the centre and go round. And just cut off those florets. And that tastes of something actually quite spectacular. The first and foremost thing when you're looking for broccoli is to make sure that it's all nice and tight, closed up. You don't want it flowering. You want it dark green as well, because we really want to focus on a really nice dark rich colour with this soup. Okay, most important now, water boiling, rapidly boiling, because that helps keep the colour. I'm going to season it now as well. Too many chefs especially season at the end. You've got to cook with the salt. Broccoli in, season it at the bottom and season it on top as well. Lid back on. The lid brings the water back up the boil rapidly. It's going to cook now for about 3.5 to 4 minutes. Okay, goat cheese. This goes really well with broccoli soup. In fact, it goes really well with salad as well, but this is just a really nice ash-rolled goat's cheese. It's delicious, very mature, and it's actually quite strong. But the nice thing about this, we're going to slice it thin, and as the sort of heat of the soup, it's going to melt it and make it a little bit more creamy as well. So, to get it really nice and thin, get your knife, and just stick that in the boiling water, and just slice through. And what happens when it's nice and warm, you get this really nice, smooth, shiny effect. Sometimes when you slice the goat's cheese with a cold knife, it starts to break, but just dip it in and slice. You can get more portions out of the thing. It's not crumbling, and it actually looks a little bit smarter. We just want to get a knife now and run our knife through the broccoli, and if it goes through, there you go, you can hear that now. It goes through easy. We don't want to cook it anymore. 4.5 minutes, nothing more than that. Take it off the heat, into the colander, and just pour. Now look at the colour of the water now. Huh? It's almost like you've made your own broccoli stock. And that, for me, is the secret ingredient behind this particular dish, is the water it's cooked in. Okay, over to the blender. Now it's steaming, it's piping hot, but that's good because if we puree this and put it in the blender when it's cold, it goes grainy and lumpy. You're not going to get that really nice, smooth, sort of velvety texture that we want. But look at the colour of the broccoli. It's come out darker because we've kept that lid on top of the pan. It's boiled rapidly, and we've got all that flavour in there. The most important thing now is actually just keeping that water, because that's where all the goodness is. It's got all the flavour of the broccoli in there. We don't need a chicken stock or a vegetable stock. How can you make a broccoli soup with the chicken stock, for God's sake? You know, this thing is great for vegetarians as well. Bless them. So, broccoli in, the water that it was cooked in, add it back to the broccoli, and so it's almost just like half fillet, because we don't want to get it too thin, because we want a really nice sort of thick, creamy texture. Put the lid on, and then blend. Get your cloth, hand on top, nice and firm, and just 2 or 3 little sort of on-offs. And what that does, it lets the water settle down, it starts blending, and it doesn't gather this momentum and shoot through the cloth. Okay. Okay. Now, before this comes out, we're going to finish the seasoning to make sure that it's actually seasoned properly. So just taste. It really tastes very clean. Season it again, just a little bit more on top. Back on. That almost looks like a puree now. It feels like a sort of a soup with 25 ingredients in there. But all it is broccoli and water. Okay, serving it. It's almost like that little sexy black number, because you can take it a different division. Cup and a bowl. If you're having like a dinner party or a nice posh lunch or something a little bit more sophisticated. A few walnuts in the bowl, goat's cheese on top, and then I'm just going to get a peppermint and season the goat's cheese nicely, and then just pour. It's the right consistency, it's not too thick, it's not too thin. Just stay at one end, don't go all the way around the plate, just stay there, it will fall around naturally. Into the cup, and then, you know, sometimes we've got little bits of cheese left over. Put them at the bottom of the cup. And the cheese starts to melt throughout, almost starts to thicken the soup as well at the same time. And then just finish it with a little bit of olive oil. And that just gives it a little bit more gloss. Gives it a really nice sort of shine to the dish, and it just sort of lifts the whole thing up. So broccoli soup, goat cheese, and there's a mug of soup with some really nice crusty bread. Easy.